There's a kind of love that feels like coming home, but slowly, silently, it starts to suffocate you. You begin to doubt yourself, to walk on eggshells, to forget who you were before her. And what's worse, you call it love. But the truth, what you're in, isn't love. It's a psychological trap, one that wears your name, but kills your identity. There are two forces in every relationship. One binds, the other destroys. Eros and Thanatos, love and death, union and disintegration. You may not name them this way, but you've felt them. One draws you closer, the other bleeds you dry. Most relationships begin with Eros, but many die in the hands of Thanatos. And when the destruction outweighs the connection, that's when love becomes poison. Let's begin with the 8 signs, 8 slow drips of venom disguised as love. 1. You use the other to heal yourself. You don't want a partner, you want a bandage, someone to seal the wound so tightly you forget how deep it runs. But love doesn't heal, it only mirrors. And if you use someone to escape your pain, they will become your pain, because they'll never be enough, and you'll never be whole. 2. The relationship is destructive. Words that crush, hands that betray, silences that shatter you more than screams ever could. Thanatos doesn't always show up in violence. Sometimes he whispers, "You'll never be enough for them." 3. The relationship blocks your growth. You're not evolving, you're shrinking. You were bigger before them. Now you're small, careful, afraid. Love should shape you, not erase you. 4. You become their illness. Your uniqueness, the very thing that made you powerful, is now their burden. Your intensity becomes too much, your dreams unrealistic, your love suffocating. They don't want all of you, just the parts that serve them. 5. You hide yourself. You lie about your needs. You pretend to be okay with less. You silence your anger. You edit your truth. And slowly, you vanish. 6. Stability becomes a grave. You've built comfort, but not growth. The pond is calm, but it's stagnant. You're drowning in clear water and calling it peace. 7. Your choices no longer include us. You either give up your life completely or protect it selfishly. But true love is built in the tension, where I and we collide and forge something new. 8. There's no sacred sacrifice. You've either sacrificed too much or nothing at all. But love demands a price, and the price is always a part of yourself. The question is, which part are you willing to let die so something greater can be born? Most relationships are toxic, not because they begin that way, but because no one teaches us how to hold both Eros and Thanatos in the same bed. And when death outweighs love, we don't leave, we adapt. We survive what we should have escaped. And we call that survival love. But what if the poison isn't just in them? What if it's in you too? That's what we'll uncover next. Everyone loves to spot a red flag, but almost no one admits I might be the one waving it. We point fingers at narcissists, manipulators, the emotionally unavailable. We collect posts, quotes, and diagnoses about others. But the deepest poison often drips from your own mouth. So before you judge your partner, ask yourself, are you the one infecting the relationship? Here are 9 red flags that may not come from them, but from you. 1. That's just how I am. You say it with pride, as if your wounds are medals, as if growth is betrayal. But that phrase, "I won't change," isn't strength, it's a grave. and you're dragging the relationship into it. Because love requires flexibility, not rigidity. No one wants to love a statue. 2. Your dreams don't match. You want a house by the sea. They want the mountains. You want kids. They want freedom. No matter how strong the passion is, if your visions never align, you'll walk forever, but never in the same direction. 3. Jealousy rules you. You check their phone, you fear their freedom, you confuse love with possession. But jealousy isn't love. It's fear, it's control. It's a silent scream. I don't trust myself, so how can I trust you? 4. You keep repeating the same fights, same trigger, same explosion, same silence. That's not growth, that's rot. Love without transformation is just a slow ritual of emotional self-harm. 5. I'm better alone. You say it during fights, you think it makes you sound strong, but it's a mask, a shield for your inability to truly open up. Real intimacy scares you, so you hide behind independence. 6. You use them to fill your void. You don't love them, you need them. And when you need someone to avoid facing yourself, you don't build a relationship. You build a cage, for both of you. 7. You turn love into a power game. You measure worth, you compare, you punish with silence, you reward with crumbs. But love isn't dominance, and no one thrives under your emotional empire. 8. You're stuck in the present moment. You don't remember how it started. You don't care where it's going. You live in right now. But forget that love, real love, is a story, not just a scene. Without a future, you're just passing time in pretty decay. 9. Too many words, too little truth. You talk and talk and talk, but it's noise, not connection. True love is made in silence too, in glances, in pain held together, in a presence that doesn't need explanation. If all you offer is talk, you might be hiding behind it. And manipulation wears the mask of eloquence. Here's the twist. All relationships are toxic. They all contain eros and thanatos, a tension between growth and destruction. But the question is, how much poison are you bringing in? And are you brave enough to stop drinking it? Because the next red flag might not be theirs. It might be your reflection in the mirror. Toxic love doesn't always come with bruises. Sometimes it comes with routines, with habits, with hope. Sometimes it comes with you. Before you can escape the poison, you must know what kind of cup you're drinking from. Because not all toxic relationships look the same. Some are loud, others seductive. But all of them corrupt your soul slowly. Here are the 8 psychological archetypes of toxic love. 1. The narcissistic relationship. Here, one or both partners wear a mirror. You fall in love, not with the person, but with your reflection in their eyes. There's no us, just performance, validation, self-protection. It's toxic because you never collide with the other. You orbit your own ego, never transforming. But for the broken, this type offers rest, a temporary shelter to catch your breath before you dare to go deeper. 2. The Chronos relationship, asymmetry. One wants a family, the other wants freedom. One evolves, the other resists. This is the couple split by time. You love them, but your futures are misaligned. And no matter how much you bend, the timelines won't match. Too much pressure to grow when you're not ready, and you'll collapse under your own expectations. 3. The circular relationship. You break up, you get back, you break up, you get back. Each cycle shorter, tighter, more suffocating. Hope becomes a noose. The love you cling to is just a memory of the beginning, a beginning that will never come again. This is Thanatos in disguise. You're not loving, you're looping. 4. The partial relationship. One gives everything, the other gives weekends. This is the love of ghosts, of affairs, of almosts. It's toxic because it promises more, but delivers fragments. And your soul? It's starving, not for affection, but for wholeness. 5. The controlling relationship. You fall in love with potential, not reality. You want them to change, to conform, to become your fantasy. But in forcing someone to be who they're not, you kill their spirit, and yours too. Control masquerades as care, but it's just fear in a pretty costume. 6. The dependent relationship. You can't breathe without them, but it's not love. It's attachment. When they become your bandage, your fix, you no longer relate. You survive. You confuse their absence with death because you never learned how to stand alone. Dependency isn't just unhealthy, it's soul-erasing. 7. The Oedipal relationship. Mommy's boy, daddy's girl. Your real partner isn't in the room, your parents are. Every decision filtered through family legacy. Every conflict diffused by external authority. You don't love a person. You're reenacting scripts, roles. You'll never build something new while you're still serving something old. 8. The discriminatory relationship. You're not a man, you're the man. You're not a woman, you're the wife. This is the prison of gender roles, of archaic expectations. He must fix things. She must nurture. He earns. She obeys. Love dies here, buried under roles, not souls. Here's the part no one tells you. You can be in all of these at once. They're not categories, they're layers. A narcissistic partner can also be controlling. A dependent relationship can also be Oedipal. And the more layers, the deeper the rot. But every toxicity is a trial, a dark rite of passage, a lesson whispered through pain. If you listen closely, it might just lead you back to the part of you that still remembers what love was meant to be. Every toxic bond is a false mirror. To heal, you must dare to see who you truly are, without them. This is the most dangerous kind of love, not because it hurts you, but because it never lets you go. It's the one that says, I don't love you, but I'm not ready to lose you. It doesn't scream, it whispers. And those whispers dismantle your soul. It's the most toxic form of all, because it's half alive and half already dead. They don't admire you. They don't cherish who you are. But they can't let you walk away. And so they hold you close, just tight enough to keep you, but never to truly see you. They don't grow with you. They don't evolve beside you. But they need you, because without you, they would have to face their void. So they keep you, like a drug they don't even like anymore. In this dynamic, you're disrespected, but not released. You're not loved, but not forgotten. You're not chosen, but you're not free. It is a purgatory, a psychological prison masquerading as loyalty. And the longer you stay, the more you shrink, the more your boundaries blur, the more you become a ghost of the person you once were. But here's the trap. It doesn't start this way. It begins as need, maybe even healing. You were broken, and they offered comfort. You wanted to matter, and they made you feel special. But they never really saw you, only what you could give. And now, they can't love you. But they also can't let you go, because they're afraid, not of losing you, but of facing themselves without you. They don't want you. They want what you fill in them. And when the cup runs dry, they drink you like poison. This isn't love. It's emotional vampirism. And if you're still here, trapped in this kind of love, there's a reason. Maybe you grew up believing you had to earn love. Maybe you're addicted to trying to fix the broken. Maybe you confuse survival with connection. But let me say this clearly. If someone cannot love you but won't let you go, they're not your soulmate. They are your lesson. And the lesson is this: never stay where you are disrespected just because you're afraid of the silence after goodbye. Want to know if you've lived through this kind of love? You'll know it by what's left of you after it ends. Exhaustion, emptiness, shame, confusion, like waking up from a dream that devoured you. But here's the gift, if you're willing to see it. If you were the one who couldn't love, this is your mirror. You're not broken, but you must learn how to show up as a subject, not a user. And if you were the one not loved but held, you must learn to stop offering your soul to people who don't have the courage to honor it. Because if someone is choking you in the name of love, it's not love. It's fear. It's need. It's decay. And you're allowed to walk away. Everyone talks about toxic people, but almost no one asks, what if it's me? What if I'm not the one being destroyed, but the one doing the destroying? Not out of cruelty, but out of fear, out of habit, out of wounds I've never faced. You think you're protecting yourself. You think it's normal. But one day you look back and all you see is emotional wreckage. Here are 5 signs that the toxic one in the relationship might be you. And this isn't about shame. It's about waking up before it's too late. Because toxicity isn't just what they do to you, it's what you bring into the space between you. 1. You don't listen. You hear their voice, but you don't receive their soul. You interrupt, you assume, you react, and slowly you erase them. Listening is not just hearing words, it's letting the other exist, without judgment. If you're always explaining, always defending, always waiting to speak, you're not in love. You're in control. 2. You need control to feel safe. You micromanage their feelings. You keep tabs on their behavior. You confuse love with ownership. But love cannot breathe in a cage, and neither can you. When you control, you don't allow growth. You turn the other into an object, something to manage, not meet. Real connection is uncertain. That's what makes it real. 3. You weaponize your pain. You make your suffering the center of everything. You dominate the space with silence, with blame, with guilt. You don't express emotions, you use them as tools. Your pain becomes your power, and the other drowns beneath its weight. But pain is not permission to crush someone else's light. 4. You are emotionally or physically absent. You're there, but not really. You don't touch, you don't share, you don't risk anything real. You stay safe, distant, cold. And you think that's strength, but it's just fear. Fear dressed as control. If you can't hold someone when they're hurting, you're not in a relationship. You're in self-preservation mode. 5. You give no space to the other. You don't let them change. You don't let them speak. You don't let them grow into someone new. You freeze them in a role. You are who I want you to be, or I leave. That isn't love. That's possession. If your partner can't evolve, can't become more than the version you liked at the beginning, you're not loving a person, you're loving a fantasy. And fantasies can't bleed. They can't scream. They can't wake you up in the middle of the night to say, "I don't feel seen anymore." But here's the truth no one tells you. We are all toxic sometimes. We all carry trauma, defense, fear. But that doesn't mean we're unlovable. It means we have a duty to face what we bring into love, to stop blaming the other for the shadows we've never claimed, to ask honestly, am I building this love or poisoning it? Sometimes the most dangerous person in your life is the version of you who refuses to grow. But if you see it, you can change it. And that might be the most loving thing you ever do. You say it's a curse. You say, I always attract the wrong people. Women who lie, women who manipulate, lovers who take and never give. But what if it's not fate? What if it's a mirror? What if the pattern is not in them, but in you? There's a reason you attract what wounds you, not because you're broken, but because your boundaries are. When your soul doesn't know where you end and where they begin, you become a magnet for chaos. Here are 8 reasons why you might keep calling in what hurts you. 1. You're too accommodating. You say yes when you mean no. You say whatever you want when your heart is screaming. You think it's kindness, but it's self-abandonment in disguise, and people feel it. They walk in and take everything. 2. You listen too much. Your gift is empathy, but even empathy can rot when it has no spine. You absorb their pain. You let them unload their darkness. You become their emotional landfill, and they don't even notice they're burying you. 3. You're the fixer. You see a wound, you try to heal it. You see chaos, you organize it. But you forget, not every problem is yours to solve. And some people don't want solutions, they want someone to bleed with. 4. You give too much. You think love is sacrifice, but real love has limits. If you give endlessly, you lose shape. You vanish, and they don't love you more. They just stop seeing you. 5. You believe in your dreams, and they hate you for it. If you shine too brightly, you will attract those who never escaped their darkness. They'll try to dim you, not because they hate you, but because you remind them of everything they gave up on. 6. You trust blindly. You think trust is love. But love without discernment is danger. You give second chances to people who never earned the first, and they turn your hope into a weapon. 7. You lead with your wounds. You open up too soon. You let them see the scars. You confuse vulnerability with bonding, and they hook into your pain, not your soul. Love cannot be built on pain alone. Pain needs a sanctuary, not a savior. 8. You have no inner boundaries. You know where your skin ends, but not where your self does. You enter relationships without knowing who you are, what you need, what you'll never tolerate again. And when you don't know your lines, they'll cross them every single time. The bitter truth. It's not that you attract toxic people. It's that your trauma still opens the door when they knock. But that can change. Start by saying no. Start by making space for yourself. Start by becoming the kind of person who protects their soul as fiercely as they once protected everyone else. Because when you know your value, You stop auditioning for people who don't even deserve your silence. If you keep calling in what hurts you, the problem isn't your worth. It's your walls. Build them wisely. And when the wrong ones walk away, don't chase. Don't beg. Let them go. They were never your mirror. They were your test. How do you escape a love that's slowly poisoning you, but still feels like home? How do you break a pattern when your soul has built a cathedral inside the very person who's been destroying you? You don't leave all at once. You leave in pieces, and you reclaim them one by one. Here are the 4 moves to escape a toxic bond before it becomes your grave. 1. Identify the poison. You can't heal what you won't name. Is it control? Emotional neglect? Manipulation disguised as love? Every toxic pattern is a symptom, a whisper from your psyche saying, something inside you is still unhealed. Until you recognize your specific flavor of poison, you'll keep sipping it from different glasses, different names, same ruin. And if you cut the cord without learning the pattern, your shadow will repeat it in the next connection. Guaranteed. 2. Take responsibility. Toxic love always feels like, they did this to me. But healing begins the moment you ask, where did I abandon myself? Were you silent too long? Did you ignore the red flags? Did you betray your own needs to keep the peace? Blame is a prison. Responsibility is the key. It's not about fault, it's about power. You cannot control them, but you can reclaim yourself. 3. Cut it clean. You can't cleanse the wound while still kissing the knife. You must let the old version of the relationship die. No negotiation. No maybe one day. No breadcrumb hope. Rip the cord. Block the escape route. Burn the bridge. If you don't, you'll crawl back in at the first whisper of loneliness. And the cycle will start again, worse, because now your soul will bleed faster. 4. Heal what made you stay. After the silence comes the scream, the grief, the confusion, the temptation to call them back just to feel something. Don't. That ache is your rebirth. It's time to meet the part of you that accepted breadcrumbs, that tolerated humiliation, that mistook pain for passion. And it's time to teach that part what love is not. Because if you don't heal the wound that chose them, you'll choose them again. Different face, same ruin. Toxic love isn't just a mistake. It's a mirror, a challenge, a spiritual crucible. You either burn in it or emerge transformed. And if you're still breathing, you haven't lost. You've been invited to rise. If this resonated, share it with someone still trapped in the cycle. And stay close. Because in the next section, we'll explore the one archetype that disguises itself as love, but dismantles you from the inside. Let's finish this. So, what happens when the poison leaves your system? What happens after you've cried it out, burned the bridge, and watched the ruins in silence? Does love still exist? Only if you redefine it. Because love, real love, doesn't look like fireworks and obsession. It doesn't demand your silence, your shape-shifting, your sacrifice of self. Real love begins where the fantasy ends. The problem wasn't just them. It was the story you told yourself, the myth of the perfect partner, the savior, the soulmate. But love is not salvation. Love is reflection. Love is growth. Love is 2 wounded beings choosing to become whole, together. It is not about losing yourself in another. It is about finding yourself next to another. It is not about being completed. It is about being mirrored, and still choosing to stay. This is the art of not idealizing, of seeing clearly, of choosing consciously, of letting go when it hurts but staying when it heals. Because love isn't the absence of pain, it's the presence of awareness. Can you hold someone's darkness without erasing your own light? Can you be a home for someone without becoming their prison? That is the question. Real love is not a fantasy. It is a discipline, a spiritual path, a confrontation with truth. It says, I see you, not the mask, not the illusion, but the real you, and I still choose you. And when two souls meet with full eyes, with clear hearts, with open wounds, that's when love becomes something holy. Toxic love teaches you what love is not. But if you're ready to discover what love truly is, what it demands, what it builds, what it heals, then watch this. True love exists, but it must be built. Because love isn't found, it's forged. Through fire, through choice, through truth. The link is waiting. Bring your scars. And come understand why real love will always ask for your soul.